All right, we have our fender adjusted to our likings, and as you can see, we've got a nice gap from the bottom all the way up to the top. We got a nice gap from the cowl all the way down to the end of the hood. So now we're going to explain to you how we got that way. So there's a series that we did. It's not confusing or hard. So what we did first is the fender was not flushed with the door back here. So to start the project, we loosened the bolt. We left this one tight so the back of the fender would pivot. We loosened that bolt, this bolt, all these bolts here, including the hidden bolt in the door handle. If you don't loosen this bolt here, you're going to have problems because that is also a main bolt. In addition to these bolts, there's one on the bottom on the back corner and one up on the front corner. So we loosened those. The next step we did is we pulled on this fender until the fender got flush with the door right here. When we achieved that, we tightened this back corner bolt here and closed the hood. As we pulled the hood down, we noticed that our gap got tighter and tighter and tighter. As you can see, I used my trusty yellow tape here and put my piece of tape right up against the fender like I did in the other on the striker in the door, and this is how much we pulled the front fender out. Now, how do we get the front fender out? Well, again, with this back bolt being tightened, we loosened this front bolt. There's two bolts down here on the radiator support or inside that you may or may not know about, and that allows the front of the fender to pivot out. So as we pulled the front of the fender out, we snugged this bolt down, and then the rest of the bolts we snugged down. We closed the hood, and that's how we got our gap this way. So the gap that we had left, or the last problem we had, was the height of the fender. So our hidden bolt is still loose, right? This fender has got some flex to it. It's bolted down here to the inner fender, so put a little pressure here, and with these bottom bolts loose down here, that allowed the fender to go down. Once it was down, I held it in case you got inside and tightened up the hidden bolt, and the fender stayed where it's put. So I hope that helps you out. This is how we do it. You may do it your way. This ain't the only way to do it. There may be other ways that I don't know about. This is the way that I know how to do it. I'm comfortable with it, and I get good results. One mistake a lot of people make when they're working on sheet metal is they want to use a big hammer, or they want to hit it real hard one time and fix the whole problem. But sheet metal is very delicate, and as you can see with this little bitty hammer here, I wasn't hitting it hard, and it worked that lip right back into shape. So you got to take your time. All right, this
is
do what?
And this is?
Oh, this is the front valance that goes on under the grill. The hooks the bottom of the fenders hook together on each side. This car has some damage on the right front corner that we found. It was a little more extensive than we thought.
So we set us back a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. We had to stop and take the grill out, get the bumper off. The right front fender wasn't fitting like we wanted it to, so we just had to kind of massage it back to like we wanted it, or like it was supposed to go, and that way we get everything done. We know it's going to go back together and fit real nice. So this here, we also had some damage, so we were just kind of checking it over. We have our passenger side roughed in, but before we put the final tightening and making sure that everything fits like we want it to, we're stopping here at the hood. The hood has got a problem here where it doesn't come up flush with the fender in this area only. I feel like that the fender is okay, so I need another set of hands to help. We're going to show you how we're going to check this. We'll be right back. I just need to borrow another set of hands, and I'll show you what we're going to do. So what we did is we marked the part of the hood that's in question with a little piece of tape here and here, and that mimics where the fender is discrepancy on that. So we're going to try to do this to illustrate the best we can. It's hard with having 4 possible hands and needing 6. So what we're going to do is, by what we drew on the other side, we'll come over here and we'll attempt to, and which it's done showed, we're going to try to mimic now that Casey's is 1 hand less. So I will take the light and try to hold this and that and do all this at one time. So we're going to bring Casey's edge, she's going to bring down to the front edge of the hood to where the shadow right there. I'll bring it, and I will bring mine up, and this line going up indicates where we're past the tape on the hood. So when I bring that up right there, we'll check Casey. Casey needs to come down right there. As we were indicating earlier, before Casey lost a hand, the hood is flattened out. And I apologize, y'all just gonna have to trust. The hood is flattened out right in here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a dead blow hammer, and if Casey holds right there, I'll get it real quick. This is a dead blow hammer. If you listen, you can hear a little sand shaking in it. And the reason they call it a dead blow, when you hit something, it stops. It doesn't bounce like a regular hammer. Now, this is sheet metal, and it will bend, and sometimes it bends easier than expected. So what I'm going to do is, in this problem area out here on this, what you want to do is you want to come right out here, come in tight, Casey, where you can see. You want to come in right out here on this lip. There's no need in hitting inside of here, because as you can see, this is reinforced. This is not going to give. I don't know what's going on, but we're just going to massage this edge right here just so slightly, and we're going to check it. So I'm going to start right here in the center, and I'm just going to tap. Put Mr. Hammer down. We're not going to use our template no more. We use the template just to kind of not second guess, but kind of confirm that the problem spot is where we thought it was at. We're going to ease the hood down where it's flush on the passenger side. On the driver's side front, we're both nice. And it has come up a little bit. So what we're going to do now is, if I can find my tape, and I'll see it, it's over here on this. What we're going to do now, actually, you can use this tape here. We're flush here, so I'm going to take this piece of tape up, and I'm going to place it right here on the hood. And I'm going on the hood because once I raise the hood, I won't be able to see where it's at. I could use these small pieces, but I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this in a series, and now I'm going to work this area here. And each time, I'm going to shrink it in until we got this where I like it. So I'm going to raise the hood back up. I'm going to start in the center. If you could tell, my center hit had a little bit more of an impact and as the edges did. Why? Because the center needed to move more, and as I got out closer to my goal spots, I went a little bit less and less. So we're going to ease the hood back down to where we're flush up here in the front. And as you can see, I need to hit just a little bit harder. So we're going to raise it up. I'm going to give it a little harder hit, like right in here. All right, that helped it a lot. As you can see, it still needs just a little bit more. So we're going to keep working this in a series until we get it like we want to. We showed you how to do it, and we have showed you what we're doing to achieve this. So I need Casey's help, and like I said, you kind of, I hope I've demonstrated, the kind of technique that we're using and what it takes to what to get it. The worst mistake people make is they want to do it all at one time. They figure, hey, it's got to move this much. I'll give it one good big hit, be done. Well, easy is never the best result. And this is why. You just take your time, be patient, a little bit of time, you'll be glad at the end. Okay, we got our hood worked out to our likings. I did ended up taking the hood latch out because every time I'd go to try to lower it down to where it's flush on both corners at the fenders, it would try to like catch or whatever. So I just took the latch out where I could freely raise the hood up and down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold the hood down, or make sure that the hood is flush with the fenders on each side. And Casey can show you the how flush the hood and the fender is on both sides. I'm very happy with that. I hope Mike King didn't see me beating on his hood with a hammer. I'm sure he'd get nervous. But hey, sometimes like we say, we do whatever it takes, and it just did what it takes. So as you look, that's a pretty nice fit, and I'm happy with it, and it's gonna look great when we get done. Okay, we're back, and we've got our fender fitting just like we want it. As you can see, we've got a nice flush fit all the way back down the side of the hood, and we've got a nice fender to hood gap from the corner of the fender all the way down to the cowl. Love it. So as we was going through this process, the car basically told us a story. So this car had some damage on the right front corner, which we had to adjust as we went along. The fender extension, aka headlight assembly, it had some damage across this lip here that we had to straighten out. The lower valence panel, it was in stress, and we had to massage it and work on it a little bit to make it fit back to the fender. So as you can see, it fits nice right here at the fender valence seam. We got a nice fit back here at the door fender gap from the bottom of the fender all the way up to the top of the fender. We had adjusted the door, picked the front of the door up a little bit, and then we got a nice gap all the way back down the side of the door and up the back of the door up to the top of the quarter panel. The trunk lid fortunately fits nice. We didn't really have to do nothing to it. It's a nice fit all the way around. This is why I recommend, or I always make sure that the car fits before we take it apart, because this is something that you don't definitely want to do after you paint the car. I haven't done it, but I've seen a lot of people that have done that, and so you can learn from other people's mistakes. So stay with us as we take this car apart and strip it down to the bare metal, and we'll show you some progress as we move along.